All right, good evening, everybody. This is a Fantasy Sports Boss with fantasy football wrap up for week 3. And needless to say, this might go down as one of the craziest, wildest, insane weeks in fantasy football that I have seen in a really long time. Just the sheer volume of scoring from certain individuals such as Keenan Allen and Devin Arshane and Raheem Mostert, which of course I put a poll up for you guys to vote on. A ridiculous 70 points scored by Miami Dolphins against Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, and it's ironic that just this morning I said to you guys that the Miami Dolphins remind me of the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams, and I got some blowback on that. Probably not now after what happened today. I'm just going to pull up the scores as well. So it was just unbelievable how efficient this offense is. And Tua Tagovailoa, what else are you going to say about the guy? He is just insanely productive and good, and every positive adjective you could give. But Raheem Mostert and Devin Arshane, who pretty much split the workload 50-50, both guys went absolutely bonkers today. Kane himself is, I think it was over 50 points, and Raheem Mostert, I think it was around 45 in PPR leagues. Just silly stuff. And Mostert, the 3 touchdowns on the ground. It was just pure insanity. I feel bad for anybody who went up against those guys because it was probably an automatic loss. You could throw Keenan Allen in there too. And Boba, no, he's not the running back one. I took a look at that game. Really, the snap count was almost 50-50. It was pretty much 55-45 Mostert to the rookie, Shane. And, I always call him Arshane. It's Shane. So really, it's a split workload between the two. But either way, my God, I've never seen anything like this in one game where 2 running backs put up, over 40 points. Just stupid numbers. And Tyreek Hill did Tyreek Hill things. It was just crazy. Charles Cena, it looks like he had a bad day, got bent over a bar stool. I won. I'm 3-0 in one league. I won my friends and family league. I was getting blown out in my work league until I was going against Pat Mahomes and Pacheco until both guys took a seat. And Kenneth Walker, who I have, started going crazy. He's got a couple of touchdowns. Hopefully he gets a couple of extra points here at the end. I have like a 30% chance to win. But, I have a chance. I have Mike Evans and going tomorrow and A.J. Brown. I'm down 40-plus points, so I think I have a shot. I wish I had a better waiver position to definitely pick up Shane. Yeah, he's not going away, that's for sure. But what I want to start today is with the Jets. Maybe because I'm in New York. Not a Jets fan, but in the driving rain, the New England Patriots beat the Jets 15-10. And we witnessed just another comically inept performance by Zach Wilson. Wound up 18 of 36, 151 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He took 3 sacks. Just another listless, pathetic, disgusting performance by Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson, only 5 for 48 receiving. That's the best he could possibly do. He has completely neutered Garrett Wilson. He's completely neutered Breece Hall, who went 12 for 18. My God, 1.5 per carry. And right after the game ends, the first question to Robert Saleh is Wilson starting next week? And Saleh right away says, yes, he is absolutely starting next week. No doubt about it. And I'm thinking to myself, you got to be kidding me. How is it that you're starting Zach Wilson, who might be the worst quarterback I have ever seen in my entire life, all right? I'm 40-plus years old. I've seen a lot of football. This guy stinks. He's awful. There is no way you could go back to Zach Wilson next week. Robert Saleh has no clue. He does not have a quarterback. And this team is going to start falling apart at the seams. You see it already on the sideline. Garrett Wilson, visibly upset. Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook came here. He's probably saying to himself, what the hell did I get myself into? Get me the fuck out of here. Zach Wilson shouldn't even be in the NFL. And I'm almost starting to wonder if the GM, this clueless GM who decided to draft him in the first place, is making Saleh stand up in front of the press and say this, putting him out there week after week in order to try to justify using that pick, which was just awful. This guy shouldn't even be on an NFL playing field. That's how bad he is. The Jets are lost. This is a total disservice to not only their fans, but the rest of the team. This team has talent all over the place. And they're being let down by a kid who's most famous for banging his mom's friend. He sucks. Get him out of there. Call up Joe Flacco. Call up Carson Wentz. Call up anybody. Like, you got to be kidding me. Robert Saleh, who never did anything, standing up there with this smug look on his face saying, Zach Wilson is our guy. What? Like, how is this even possible? He stinks. Get him out of there. Garrett Wilson, totally destroyed, neutered by this guy. Breece Hall, there's no room to run because why would a defense do anything but stack the box? I mean, you got to be kidding me. Get Joe Flacco back in here. Hell, get Matt Ryan out of here. He can't move, but he can get the ball out. He knows where to go with the ball. I mean, it is insanity that they keep putting this kid out there. And I'm not trying to destroy, he's a young kid. I get it. I'm not trying to pick on the kid. But, I mean, you got to be, to get up there, at least say, well, we're going to reevaluate things. That would be, an acceptable answer. But to say, with that stupid, smug look on his face, no, Zach Wilson's the guy. What? I mean, everybody can see that this kid doesn't belong on an NFL playing field. It was pathetic. Anybody that watched that game today, it set football back 10 years. I mean, he stinks. There's just no other way to describe it. That's how bad it was. I mean, you have to bench Garrett Wilson. You have to bench Breece Hall. There's just no other way to go. Now, they brought in Aaron Rodgers. Great. They should have had Jacoby Brissett, somebody, even Taylor Heineke, somebody that can come in and at least move the football. But no, the dumbass GM who spent that pick in the first place on Zach Wilson feels like he's wedded to him, and they keep going back to me. I mean, if I'm Dalvin Cook, I'm saying, get me the fuck out of here. Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb too. Like, enough. Just a joke. That game was a joke. Zach Wilson is a joke. I can't believe they're putting him out there either, DH. And believe me, I didn't want to come in and start screaming, but I can't help it because it is just so aggravating seeing this shit week in and week out. And I'm a Giant fan. I'm not even a Jet fan. I'm a football fan, and I see this shit every week. I mean, enough. Get him out of there. Put the water boy in there. I mean, how bad? Tim Boyle, put him in there. See what he could do. I am a Giants fan, Hans, but I mean, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Robert Saleh getting up there in front of the media with his holier-than-thou act and that stupid look on his face. Oh, of course we're going back to Zach Wilson. Of course. What do you mean, of course? It should be anybody but him. Oh my God. I just can't even. That they would even do this again. And there's really nothing to talk about. Mac Jones threw a touchdown that game, but just there's just no words to describe what that was. There's no words. Jets are so disturbing with the nonsense. I was forced to trade. Yeah, I already traded away Garrett Wilson prior to this week, and I got in a deal for Mike Williams, who looks like he might have tore his ACL, but we'll get to that game. Let's move on because I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Just a complete and utter joke. All right. So Kenneth Walker did not score that last touchdown. I really needed him to score that touchdown for me. All right. So let's start with we got to get to that Miami game. I mean, 70-20, and I need to calm down. The blood pressure's getting a little high. 70 points. Like, I don't think I've ever seen 70 points in an NFL game. I mean, and it made me look good because I gave the points. Miami was one of my picks this week. And you know what? It's nice seeing Sean Payton get, shit rubbed in his face because he violated the coaching protocol of not criticizing another coach on another team. And now what I think is going on is the coaching fraternity understandably ticked off that he would do that, and now they're just running up the score on him, which is fine by me. But again, let's look at this. Devin Ashane, the rookie, 18 for 203, 2 touchdowns, and he catches 4 balls for 30 yards and 2 more scores. So he is a PPR dynamo already 3 weeks into his NFL career. But not only that, Raheem Mostert, 13 for 82, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 7 catches for 60 yards, and he scored another touchdown. So it was 4 touchdowns for Raheem Mostert. One of the greatest games I've ever seen offensively. It might even be the most exceptional offensive regular season game I've ever seen in my life, to have 2 running backs do this. I've been saying to all year that, Raheem Mostert, it's never a question about talent. It's just health. He has to stay healthy. He is staying healthy, and he is like a top 5 running back right now. Let's face it. He absolutely is a top 5 running back. No, Hunt, he's not a 1 week runner. And as far as Hunter Henry, yeah, I mean, that game was bad with the rain. I think he'll be fine going forward. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 of 26, 309, 4 more touchdowns. There's your MVP frontrunner, folks. That's it. Tua Tagovailoa is doing the same thing he did the start of last year. Just an amazing, awesome talent. I spoke this morning about how he sees the field differently than most quarterbacks. He throws receivers open. He puts it on the money. The accuracy, he might be the most accurate quarterback since Troy Aikman. And I don't throw that around lightly. Anybody that saw Troy Aikman, he was the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen. Tua Tagovailoa and is right there with Kurt Warner as like the next best accurate quarterback that I've ever seen. I no doubt about it. So, and then Tyreek Hill, 9 for 157 and a touchdown. I mean, listen, if you're an NFL defensive coordinator, you have to have a safety on this guy at all times, like every single snap, period. Make somebody else beat you. I mean, there was no Jalen Waddle in this game. I don't understand this Denver coaching staff. He wants to make fun of other coaching staffs. Why don't you just look at your own coaching staff, Sean Payton? Jerry Jeudy, 5 for 81. Cortland Sutton, 8 for 91 in the score. Javonte Williams, 11 for 42. He just doesn't look like he has the speed. And again, no surprise coming back from such a serious injury. So Green Bay Packers, this was a wild one too. So Derek Carr has an AC. This is one of the key injuries of the day. Derek Carr has an AC sprain in his shoulder. So he's not playing next week. You can count on that. And this is one of the toughest guys in the NFL. He's very, very durable, Derek Carr, but he's not going to come back next week. So we had Jameis Winston come off the bench, 10 of 16 passing, but he could not stop the bleeding. Jordan Love, touchdown pass. Again, the accuracy is just not great, 22 of 40, so 44. So only half his throws have been completed. And this was the big knock on Jordan Love coming out of college, is that he just wasn't an accurate passer. And he's still not an accurate passer, but he's maximizing his throws around the red zone. He's doing a decent job putting them in position to score. He ran for 39 yards and a touchdown, so that saved his day. He can move a little bit. Sam Laporta, absolute beast. We'll get to that. Thank you for telling me Stafford over Fields. Yeah, and that's another one. Justin Fields is fucking garbage. He is absolute garbage. I know he got a passing garbage time score to DJ Moore. Bench him, cut him. It's done with this guy. I'm sorry. He sucks. Chris Olave, 8 for 104. So what I noticed here, and we should keep an eye on this going forward. Michael Thomas caught fire when Jameis Winston came in. So 6 for 50 for Michael Thomas. He had only 1 catch when Carr was in there, and then he quickly catches 5 balls with Jameis Winston. So that's something we might need to look at going forward. Romeo Doubs scored a touchdown, 5 for 73. He looks good. Musgrave, 6 for 49. So I have to tell you, the rookie tight end, Sam Laporta, you guys are talking about him in the chat. They've been really good. So that's one thing that you don't often see, obviously, rookie tight ends doing this well. Tank Dell went off. Yes, guys, this morning I told you all to play Tank Dell. The guy absolutely went off, 25 fantasy points. All right, Rain Young, $4.99 super chat. Love you, boss. Raheem Mostert to the moon. You told us. I told you this was 3-0 was for you. Thank you, Rain. I appreciate that. And it makes me feel good when you guys benefit from the information I'm giving you guys. Hopefully you had Tank Dell in there as well. Yeah, Blair, I would do that. I would drop Njoku. And talking about the Cleveland Browns, and Blair, Rain, thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Deshaun Watson. So here we go. Deshaun Watson looked good today, right? 27 of 33, 289, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 16 yards. This is the Deshaun Watson from Houston Texans days. Now, I know he was playing Tennessee. This was a smash spot all around because we know Tennessee stops the run. All right. And he was really good. So hopefully this gets him on the straight and narrow. Has a nice thing going with Amari Cooper. You remember back in the day, DeAndre Hopkins was a stud, high-octane volume receiver with Deshaun Watson. I think Amari Cooper is that guy. Tank Dell is just uber fast. But again, Hans, Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but he has that ability to wreck a game like Tyreek Hill. Drop Kelly for a Shane. Oh, 100%. Kelly should be dropped. Second week in a row, he fucked me over. I'm over that guy. Ryan Tannehill is done. Derrick Henry might be done. 11 of 20. He didn't even catch a pass. Derrick Henry, who I told you all the fade because of his age, he looks done. Very worried about Mike Williams. Yeah, every year rather. It looks like an ACL. My wife, who's a PA, actually was watching it with me and said that looks like an ACL. The way he was, the way that whole thing unfolded, and wouldn't be surprised if that's what we find out there with him. So Quentin Johnston, who I have on my bench, that would help him going forward. So, all right. So Jerome Ford. So I caught flack this morning about telling you to, not to bench Jerome Ford, but to be careful with him because he's going against a murderous run defense in Tennessee. And I know he scored 2 touchdowns. Great. Saved his day, but only 10 of 18 carrying the football. Okay. 2 catches for 33 yards. He did nothing. But he got into the end zone twice. So that's putting lipstick on a pig in terms of the outing. Trouble stomaching Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I get it. And you know what's really funny? Look up his girlfriend. Her name is Jillian Nate. She's a singer. She might be one of the hottest models, singers, whatever I've ever seen in my life. Like, she is drop dead gorgeous. Like, any dude out there would give his left arm to be with such a hot chick, which she is. The fact that he was running around on her with so many women is amazing to me. What's even more amazing is she's still with him. And she's successful in her own right. She's a singer. So I don't understand that. But she is like the epitome of drop dead gorgeous. But he is a pig. I mean, let's face it. Play Mostert. Yep, Chris, I'm glad that worked out for you. Palmer since Williams. And yeah, that's what you do with Josh Palmer. You pick him up when one of those guys get hurt. So Amari Cooper, 7 of 116 for 1 touchdown. He's going to be a low-end wide receiver 1 now that they have to pass it more with Nick Chubb not around. Started Joshua Kelly. Javier, I did too. It just didn't happen, and it's not going to happen. He's on his way out. My team got to look for a flex. Quentin Johnson or Josh Palmer. You got to go Josh Palmer. That's the guy who's next up. ETN okay to get an injury too. Looking at Bigsby, I didn't see that about. I happened to miss that. So DH. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's going to be Josh Palmer, guys. He's always the third man up. All right, so Desmond Ridder, there's another one for you. Like, he's just really bad at football. 21 of 38, 201. Kyle Pitts, 5 for 41. That is about as good as you can expect from Kyle Pitts going forward. Drake London, 2 for 31. I mean, it's over, guys. It's over. You have to throw the towel in on them. I'm sorry. Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 for 80. So he got the majority carries, like I said he would. But he only caught 1 pass for 2 yards. So it's just a strange puzzle of a game for both sides. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I said was going to be fine, 9 for 102. Sam Laporta, 8 for 84 and a score. Now, Jamison Williams is going to be coming back soon. That might complicate things for Sam Laporta. But here's the thing, too. Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't catch touchdown passes, at least not a high clip. I compared him to Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's whole career, although this year he seems to be bucking that, his whole career, Keenan Allen, has been on high reception totals and not scoring touchdowns, right? That's who I've always compared Amon-Ra to. And I said, this season, let's see if he finally bucks that trend. If he doesn't, then that's how I'm going to further classify him. as a moderate wide receiver one. You can't be a high-end wide receiver one in fantasy football if you don't score touchdowns. So I'm thinking Sam Laporta is that first read now around the red zone. So this is really good news if you're a Sam Laporta owner, that Laporta is going to continue to be the number one guy around the goal line. Bijan Robinson, no-show. His first no-show performance, that's okay. 10 for 33. This Lions defense is good. He caught 4 balls for 27 yards. Algier didn't do anything. Jared Goff only 1 touchdown. Herbert Allen stack did be good again this week. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, Keenan Allen was so good. One of my all-time favorite players. And I admit I did fade him this year. I'm going to that game right now. But, I mean, what he did today was just the definition of insane. You could drop him for Ferguson. I would. I just can't stand anybody in this offense. All right, so Keenan Allen threw a touchdown pass, 49 yards to Mike Williams, 18 catches for 215 yards. Like, we knew the Minnesota defense was bad, but how do you give up 18 catches? You would think they'd roll a safety to him in the second half, make anyone else beat you. Mike Williams, 7 of 121 in the score. Praying he's okay. Josh Palmer, 4 for 66 in the score. So we've answered our question there. Quentin Johnson only had 2 catches. It's Josh Palmer next. He is a priority number 1 fab, number 1 waiver guy this week. Josh Palmer over Quentin Johnson. If Mike Williams is as badly hurt as I think he is, Josh Palmer is going to ball out the rest of the year. Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah, he ran the ball good. He just didn't catch any passes. Justin Jefferson, my heart was in my throat when he went down late in the game. It looks like it was just cramps or maybe a rolled ankle. 7 of 149, 1 touchdown. His numbers are just crazy every week. TJ Hawkinson, 8 of 78. Addison, 6 for 52. So all 3 of these guys are going to cook every week. That's just how it is. Josh Kelly, 11 of 12 rushing. I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, seriously, you're going against the fucking Minnesota Vikings, who gave up 178 yards rushing to DeAndre Swift last week, and that's the best you can do. Cam Akers seemed to have spurred Alexander Mattison, 93 yards on the ground, 20 carries. Kirk Cousins, 3 more touchdowns, 367. So Kirk Cousins is on his way to leading the NFL in passing yardage. Justin Herbert, who was my pick betting-wise to lead the NFL in passing yards, he went 40 of 47 for 405 and 3 scores. Like, there was no defense. This might have been the worst 2 defenses in the NFL. Like, I don't understand how that could happen, that both of these offenses just ran up and down the field like this. I mean, it's just crazy to me that no adjustments were made. Drop DJ Moore for Palmer. Yes, 100%. I don't want anything to do with the Chicago offense. So, Emil, you're right. Keenan Allen runs routes as good as anybody, but if you roll a safety to him, that's going to cut down on his surface area, what he can, finding the soft seams and things like that. Buffalo 37-3 over Washington. Bad outing for Sam Howell. This wasn't good. And as a Josh Allen owner, it really pissed me off that he had to take a seat in the third quarter, as Pat Mahomes owners were dealing with today. But Allen, 20 of 32, ran for a score, threw for another. Sam Howell, 19 of 29. The accuracy wasn't bad. 4 interceptions. This could rattle the chain a little bit. This could get Jacoby Brissett possibly involved now going forward, at least next week. James Cook, another workman-like game for him. Workhorse game, 15 of 98. Latavius Murray, though, again, siphoned another score. Listen, we just got to accept the fact that this is what James Cook is going to be. So in a standard league, he's a low end 2. He's a moderate 2. In PPR, he is a low end 1. All right, James with a $1.99 super chat. Keep up the great content, boss. I will try my best, James, and I'm always here for you guys. Thank you. Remember, always post questions. I answer those as quickly as I can. Thank you for the super chat, James. So Brian Robinson, 10 for 70 on the ground. Really good outing for him. Stephon Diggs, 8 for 111. And Gabe Davis, only 1 catch for 35 yards, but it went for a touchdown. Rain Young, $1.99 super chat. You guys are very generous tonight. Pick up Tank Dell. Yes, Tank Dell, right, Rain? I told you guys this week I picked him up in both my leagues. I got him off waivers in both of my leagues, and he balled the fuck out again. He was just great. So happy about this guy because I might have lost Mike Williams. So that's really going to help me there. Pick up Tank Dell. Yeah, 100%. If he's available, put him ahead of Josh Palmer on your waiver wire. Start Jordan Addison no matter what. Yeah, DH, you'd have to because the Vikings are so bad defensively that they're going to have to play catch up throughout the course of the season. So they're going to throw a lot. Went against Keenan Allen today. We'll probably take my first loss. Don't know what to do with Gibbs, Lawrence, or Waller next week. All right, I'll take those one at a time, Justin. Yes, if you went against Keenan Allen, my condolences. I dodged all three of those guys in the poll. Lucky for me. Now, Darren Waller, I think, is going to be fine. All right. The Giants have had two of the toughest defenses in the NFL the first 3 weeks of the season, so I'm not giving up on him yet. Trevor Lawrence, let me go to that game next. That game, and I gave you guys the Texans plus 8.5. So that was another win for us today. So won that one. I did give you Minnesota. I thought we were going to win that one in the end. Didn't pull it out. But I gave you the Texans. This team is for real, guys. This passing attack, at least, is for real. CJ Stroud is for real. So Trevor Lawrence, let's get to that one now. And Gibbs, I'm not worried about Gibbs, Justin. He's going to be just fine. He's a great talent. But the workload may not be there this year. So CJ Stroud, 20 of 30, 280 and 2 scores. If you're a Justin Fields owner, you have to get CJ Stroud. That's it. No questions asked. Like, CJ Stroud is legit, folks. I had him as right behind Bryce Young in my draft guide, my draft guide book this year. So listen, he is playing really, really well. And I think he absolutely is a every week guy already, even in single quarterback leagues. Derek, just $4.99 super chat. My running backs were good today. I had Zach Moss, Walker, and Ford. Yes, I had Walker as well. Ford, you kind of looked out on that one. Starting without Aaron Jones. I also have Pierce on my bench, had a bounce back game. Yes, Pierce, so let's talk about that. And thank you for that super chat, Derek. Very, very generous of you. Thank you. And Aaron Jones really screwed me blue today. I really needed him because I had to put in Josh Kelly, 11 carries for 12 yards. So Dameon Pierce, listen, 14 for 31. We're not going to throw a party for that. But he did score a touchdown. 3 catches for 28. So, Derek, I disagree. They're going to struggle running the ball all year. So he did get the touchdown, which is obviously saved his day. But, he's a borderline guy right now for me, even at flex. And that's why CJ Stroud even more is valuable, especially Tank Dell, because they're going to have to keep throwing it just like Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. So pick up Tank Dell. Yeah, I did say that, DH. Pick up Tank Dell. Hope you guys listen. Gibbs on my waiver wire. Wow. Someone, Chris, pick him up. What the heck happened to Josh Kelly? Maybe he's just not that good, guys. Justin Fields is so bad. Yeah, he's just fucking garbage. Trevor Lawrence, 27 of 40, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Ran for 12 yards. I don't know what's going on there, guys. I really don't. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world. I've been wrong about him. I was big on Lawrence coming into the season. So far, I've been wrong. Travis Etienne was 19 for 88, so he helped out on the ground. But Evan Engram, 7 to 67, led the way. And Evan Engram, has really been the top guy. Christian Kirk, 4 for 54 and a score. So when Zay Jones doesn't play, you play Christian Kirk, right? Just like Josh Palmer with the Chargers when Allen or Williams doesn't play. Etienne, 4 for 50, catching the ball. So Etienne is doing the job, right? We were concerned about Tank Bigsby. Somebody said he got hurt. I didn't see that. If somebody can look that up for me. Calvin Ridley, 3 for 40. Like, what's going on there? Like, second week in a row, he was bad. He had a couple of drops, pulled up lame at some point. Like, T-Law for Stroud. I mean, we might be there already. Amazing. I don't agree, Chris, about Fields. I'm not being patient with him. The body language is just awful. The offense is awful. The coaching is awful. I can't be patient with him. But anyway, Calvin Ridley, I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, he was good the first week. Christian Kirk and Evan Engram seem to be more trustworthy now to Trevor Lawrence. I know, Ridley's had drops week 2. He had drops this week, so maybe that's wearing on Lawrence a little bit. I don't know. But Tank Dell, 5 for 145. Like, I'm taller than Tank Dell, and I'm not that big. Scored a touchdown, 29 yards a catch. Nico Collins only 2 for 34. So Nico Collins was the focus of attention on defense for the Jaguars, and that allowed Tank Dell to go crazy. He is scheme proof. And again, I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill. So let me just stress that. But same body type, same top shelf nuclear speed, same ability to completely wreck a game. That is Tank Dell. Get him this week. Number one waiver guy. Zay Flowers has absolutely great skills. No doubt about it, Hans. Fields, the coach, is not for listen, Blair, I will say this. Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, wants him to stay in the pocket and go through his reads. That is not who Justin Fields is. He has to play with his hair on fire. I understand what they're doing. They don't want him to get hurt because he ran too much last year and he was completely beat up by the end of the season. So if they had any idea of making the playoffs, you want to keep him healthy. So they got to keep him in the pocket, go through his reads. But it is neutering his game. His attitude sucks. He's not accurate. He doesn't read defense as well. These are all major red flags for a quarterback. Desmond Ridder, same problem. Zach Wilson, same problem. They don't have no accuracy, don't read defense as well. He's trying to get by just on the running. It's not working. Yes, I do answer questions. Just post it in the chat. And if I miss it, just post it again. I would buy low on Lawrence. I do agree with that. I would buy low on Lawrence. So Ravens lost a wild one to the Colts. The Colts all of a sudden are 2-1. Gardner Minshew, who I said the best backup quarterback in the NFL, threw a touchdown, moved the ball. Lamar Jackson got it done on the ground. That's what saved his day. 14 of 101, 2 touchdowns. He did have a fumble. Didn't do anything through the air. Zach Moss, I'd say when I like to point out when I'm right, I'm wrong about Zach Moss. So 130 for 122, 2 for 23 and a touchdown through the air. Completely wrong. Hammer me on it. That's fair. I did not see this coming from Zach Moss. So kudos to all of you who had Zach Moss. I blew it on that one for sure. Zay Flowers, 8 for 48. He is the top guy, maybe even at the expense of Mark Andrews, who went 4 for 35. Zay Flowers, who, when I did that summer video, was my number one pick for rookie wideouts over Jackson Smith and Jigba, over Quentin Johnson. He was the guy that I thought would score the most points for fantasy among rookie wideouts, and he has been that good and then some. All right, Seattle, 37-27. Nice comeback, nice win for Seattle. Not a comeback, but they needed that. I always answer them. Thank you, Chris. You can just post it in the comment section. Should I trade Saquon and DJ Moore for Zach Moss and AJ Brown? 100%. Do that now before he pulls it, especially the way Zach Moss is playing. Miami running back committee, Jeff Mostert. Listen, Jeff Wilson's not going to do anything when he comes back. This is Mostert and a Kane. The way that those two guys played today, you have to just keep putting them back out there. No coach would move away from that. Did you see Kay Osborne over Addison? What do you mean by that? Every Vikings receiver is worth using anyway. All right, so Geno Smith, 1 touchdown through the air. Andy Dalton played well, 2 passing scores. Miles Sanders, 9 for 24. He did score a rushing touchdown, 5 catches for 38 yards. So the volume is there. Very uninspiring, though, from Miles Sanders. I mean, he just hasn't been very good. But the volume is there. He's pretty much got every carry today. So it's for a running back 2 in fantasy, that works. So in order to get tanked out, I got to let a running back go to the bench. Miles Sanders or Moss. I would have to say Sanders. Try to trade Sanders, Rain. I'm sure you could find somebody, but then again, waivers may not go in before the trade goes through. You got to get tanked out. Carolina's really bad. So I would say Miles Sanders. He'll be picked up. Somebody's going to pick him up, but he hasn't been very inspiring. Kenneth Walker, 18 for 97, 2 scores on the ground. 3 for 59 through the air. All right, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, listen, Hans, it's the right offense, right? So Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball like crazy. Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback, right? He's made a career of being underrated. He still is. He's playing as a top 5 quarterback right now. I mean, we all tend to try to do better than him in fantasy because he doesn't run. All right, so it's a smaller margin of error for him. But he puts up numbers every year. And right now, with a lack of a running game, although Madison was decent today, he's got to air it out. And with no defense, literally no defense, he has to air it out every week. So he's a real safe investment right now if you have him on your team. What the F do I do with Fields? Listen, pick up CJ Stroud, Tebow. That's the play. CJ Stroud is the play. I think Warren pops off tonight. I think he could too. Put in a waiver for Tank Dell, letting Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has been very uninspiring. for Miles Sanders and Zay Flowers. If you like, I won that trade because Jeff Wilson will hurt. We got to see about that, Thor. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, he could play Blair, but he's going to not have that explosiveness back just yet. Talking about Saquon, it is a high ankle sprain. Asking about Arcane. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Listen, Arcane is really, really good, and he's not going away. Kemba Walker, Raheem Mostert with Zach Moss on the bench. Kenneth Walker, you mean. Kemba Walker, isn't that an NBA player? Listen, that looks good to me, Rain. Mike Williams, Derek Carr, both injured. I'm here. Mike Williams could be possibly I think it's an ACL. We talked about that already, and I have him in one league. Thank God I have Tank Dell, who was on my bench, but not going to make that mistake again next week. All right, tough call, dropping T-Law for Stroud. Texans have a better schedule. He looked calm. Listen, he's the real deal, C.J. Stroud. Very accurate quarterback. He is not a typical Ohio State quarterback either. He doesn't run the ball really. All right, so I talked to you guys about Andy Dalton, how I said him being in there was going to be a boon for Adam Thielen. And Thielen was 11 for 145 in his score. So as long as Bryce Young is out, Adam Thielen is a top wide receiver 3. Like, he was that good today. And he shows he's not completely washed. All right. So Andy Dalton, who's not going to move around like Bryce Young, much more adept, accurate, however you want to say, he was really, really good. Talking about Adam Thielen today. DK Metcalf, 6 for 120, 6 for 112. It's Tyler Lockett, 3 for 34. So that's now 2 no-show games out of 3, which is not what you want to see. But Jackson Smith and Jigba only had 1 catch. Kenneth Walker, like I said, was really good. So that was good to say. Yeah, Kemba Walker, right? The Pelicans guy. Not the NBA, no, that's for sure. Yes, Hollywood Brown, I'm going to get to that game next. Survivor pool, lost one of my 2 lives today. I had Dallas. So I'm in a pool where you have 2 lives. Most of the league has already lost 1 life, and a lot of guys went down today with Dallas. Some people are already out already, believe it or not, having lost both of their lives. So I lost a life today with Dallas. I violated my own rule not to take a road team, right? Home underdogs usually play pissed off. So they play inspired, and that's what you saw today with Arizona, right? And Josh Dobbs has not been bad. They used Rondale Moore today to affect positive results. Tony Pollard was 23 for 122 for Dallas. Pollard only had 3 catches for -1 yard. So it was just a bad outing. Dak Prescott threw an interception, only 1 score. Michael Gallup led the way, 6 for 92. CeeDee Lamb only 4 for 53. So they had a lot of trouble. The offensive line was pushed around all day. James Conner, guys, my guy, the value running back of the year, 14 for 98, scored a rushing touchdown, and 2 for 18 through the air. James Conner is just really good. Very underappreciated. I'm working hard here, man. I'm trying. Eckler sit out I think the Eckler will sit out until after the bye. Yes. Dallas, Zamora, they hurt me too. I lost one of my lives today too. Marquise Brown, 5 for 61. Yes, he scored. That was good to see there because it's been a struggle for him. I wish I was higher than waiver 9. Yeah, I really want to get CJ Stroud too. As a backup. Dowdle worth the pickup? No, he's not worth it to me. I know he showed some good speed, but he's not worth it. All right, so right now in my work league, I'm down 134 to 92. So 34. So that's going to be tough. 44. So I need 42 points. I have a 27% chance to win. I have my opponent's done, and I need 42 with A.J. Brown and Mike Evans. It could happen, right? There's a chance. Unlikely. So I probably will drop to 2-1, but I'm 3-0. Absolutely hammered it in my other league. Justin Jefferson was huge in that league. Mike Williams was huge before he got hurt. James Conner gave me 19. Isaiah Pacheco gave me 15. He was good. So that really helped me out there. Could have started Justin Fields and still won my match. 3-0 start. Yes. So I'm 3-0 in one league. Congratulations. Grind don't stop. I have Eckler, Dobbins, Waddle, and Ayuk. Wow. Desperately need advice for waivers. Pick up half PPR. Steve, it's got to be Tank Dell's your number 1. Josh Palmer, your number 2. Mike Williams injury. Yeah. So let me go Let's take a look now, see if any news came out about that. So we know Derek Carr is going to miss some time. So if you're a Michael Thomas owner, and so far, knock on wood, he's held up because I have Michael Thomas in one of my leagues. So far, he's holding up health-wise. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, it doesn't look like it's here. I mean, they allowed him back into the game. So I don't think so. Derek Carr was an AC sprain. Pat Mahomes got his ankle rolled. He came out early. So no update on Justin Jefferson just yet. No update on Mike Williams. Going to be 0-3 this week, 10-team league. Wow, that sucks, man. I mean, being 0-3 this early, that's tough. I feel for you. I really do. Had a good feeling about Laporta, but Waller was considered a must-start. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't draft Sam Laporta. I always fade rookie tight ends. That's just always how I've been, and I have Darren Waller in both of my leagues, but that is one investment that just has not worked out for me. Losing faith in JSN breaking out. Yeah, it was going to be difficult when you have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett ahead of him, and you still have a very run-heavy offense. How do we confirm ETN injury? Let me look at that. I didn't see anything about ETN. Let me see. Travis Etienne. I don't see anything on him. Are you sure you're not thinking of somebody else? Because I don't see anything on ETN being hurt. Drop 2-2 for Dell. Oh, 100%. Drop anybody for Dell. Like, he's really that good. No, ETN, 138 yards. He left. Oh, okay. Here it is. He left in the fourth quarter with an apparent leg injury, but was able to walk off under his own. All right. So, you're right. There is an injury. I didn't see anything on that. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let me look at Mike Williams. Need 40 points to have Steelers, Puka, Chase, and Williams. Oh, you should be able to get that, Kobe. I don't see that being an issue. Top wave will be Josh Palmer, Tank Dell, and Shane was claimed. Shane. I keep calling him Shane. Shane. I'm sorry about that. Tank Dell over Josh Palmer. They need to move from Fields, which of these are better to have. I have Stafford on the bench, can try to get Love or Purdy. Either one is fine. Love runs a little bit. Purdy doesn't. I think you're fine with any of those options. I guess I would say maybe Love because he runs the ball. And someone dropped Damian Pierce praying to pick him up over. Yeah, I mean, listen, he hasn't been good, so I understand that. Let's look up Mike Williams now. Put up 150, still have Puka. I think Puka is going to be fine. I mean, listen, as long as Cooper Kupp is out, he's going to be good. Mike Williams, let me see. All right, so Mike Williams. All right, let me look. Mike Williams injury. Let me type that in. Mike Williams injury. I really don't want to see the Steelers tonight. Like, I'm getting tired of seeing Pittsburgh in prime time. All right, so here we go. Update. Mike Williams rode a cart to the bus at U.S. Bank Stadium with his left leg in a brace. His knee injury looked bad on the field. And I'll have an MRI on Monday to determine the extent of it. Fuck. All right, so Mike Williams, left leg plants, immediately buckles without contact. Two things can be true at once. Like we saw with Nick Chubb, videos not the legitimate concern for an ACL injury. Deepak Chona, the MD Sports guy on Twitter who's got all these followers. Mike Williams, video suggests ACL and MCL meniscus. Best case is a sprain 2 to 4 weeks. Shit. All right, well, there you go. So I'm going to lose Mike Williams after a week after I traded for him. And that was the deal where I traded Garrett Wilson and the guy from the Rams, Cam Akers, for Isaiah Pacheco and Mike Williams. And it won me the matchup this week because both Pacheco and Williams did really good. But now I'm going to lose Williams for the season. So Josh Palmer, I got to pick up Josh Palmer. Let me see if he's available, actually. Opponent has Harris and Goddard. I'm up 52. There's no chance you're losing with Najee Harris. Yeah, Calvin Ridley was bad. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. All right, I have the second waiver spot. Yes. Slow. All right. The guy in front of me is not going to pick up Palmer. So I'm going to do it right now. Josh Palmer is going to be my number one waiver claim. Here we go. Josh Palmer, I'm doing it, and I'm dropping Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And the only reason why I picked up Clyde Edwards-Helaire is because I had Pacheco. I wasn't sure about him with his injuries. Yeah, so Calvin Ridley, I think he'll be okay. I mean, listen, he was away for a long time, and now I think we were a little bit spoiled that first week, but I think he's going to be all right. I wouldn't worry about that yet, but Christian Kirk is salvaging himself right now, no doubt about it. All right, so Palmer is also available in my other league. I'm going to drop Kendry Miller. Kendry Miller did nothing today, so I'm going to drop Kendry Miller because Alvin Kamara is coming back. Last year, Jeff and Mike Williams, big boomer bust. Yeah, listen, talent's always been there, but guy can't ever stay healthy. It's hard to trust Keenan Allen defenses. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but Josh Palmer has skills, so I think it won't be as bad. Need 11 points to win, still have Kyron Williams and Eagles defense to play. I think you have it in the bag. Yeah, I think so. So I need to start a new flex because Ridley 2 weeks in a row, nothing. Yeah, you still start Ridley. I wouldn't bench Ridley for any of those guys. Should I drop Deontay Johnson for Palmer or wait? I don't know. I like Deontay. I'm a Deontay Johnson fan, but is there somebody better you could drop? I wouldn't drop Deontay Johnson. Kareem Hunt automatic drop. Yeah, I think he's not going to be anything. I agree. Tonight I'm rooting for the Raiders D and against Najee's feet and ankles, just a little tweak. He stinks anyway. It doesn't matter. So you agree, drop Pitts for Ferguson and T-Law for Stroud. Pitts for Ferguson, I would. T-Law for Stroud is a bold move. It is definitely a bold move. I don't know if I would do that. I still like Trevor Lawrence. He's got great coaching, but then again, so does C.J. Stroud. I don't think I could do that. I'm too big of a Trevor Lawrence fan. I just can't do that yet. Chargers going to be without Eckler and Mike Williams. Yes. And not for nothing. Brandon Staley almost blew that game going for it on fourth down in his own territory. He's just an idiot. I have Warren, full disclosure. Yeah, I think he's going to be – I see what you're saying. I think Warren's going to be good. He might even get the start. What is wrong with Josh Jacobs past 2 weeks? He had no training camp and the curse of the 370-touch season. Look up the curse of the 370-touch season, and it's going to be bad, right? Not one back has ever done well off a 370-touch season. That's it. All right, so all right. We should drop Samaje Perine for Dalvin Cook. I don't want either one of them. So I don't want any Jets. So no, I don't want Dalvin Cook. Can I drop Dotson for Palmer? You should drop Dotson for Palmer. Who scores more points tomorrow night, Evans or Mixon? I have to say Mixon because Evans has got his hands full with Slay. Dropped a Kane. Oh, you dropped a Kane. That nobody saw this coming. I'm sorry. Nobody saw it, Joe. It's don't beat yourself up. Any updates on Jefferson? I didn't see anything on him. I think he's okay. Let me look that up now before I go because the game's about to start. And there will be a stream tomorrow, guys. I have the day off from work, so I think I definitely have a stream tomorrow. Justin Jefferson injury. If I can spell correctly, I can pull this up quicker. Injury. All right. Doesn't look like it just says injury scare. I don't see any update. Mingo was a concussion. Gus Edwards concussion. Jefferson was cramping, so he's fine. Calvin Ridley tweaked his knee. He returned. Anyone else I should pick up other than Tank Dell? Josh Palmer, you should. C.J. Stroud. All right. Listen, Atlanta doesn't do anything right. That coaching staff offensively just doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I started to pick up a Sheen literally sitting on my waivers. Oh, man, yeah, that's listen, everybody's going to have some regrets about him. I have Roshan Johnson, not sure if I should drop. Yeah, there was a no-show outing. I think if you can hold on to him for another week, I would. That team is broken, though. Should pick up McKinnon. He had a good game. I mean, he's useful. He's not very consistent. I wouldn't go crazy with the guy, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm beat. I'm going to jump out now for the evening. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all for the super chats that you gave me today. Channel's growing quick, guys. We're up over 1,281 right now. So thank you for all your support. I appreciate it. Live stream tomorrow, so look for the notification bell. And have a great night, Erwin. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. We will talk tomorrow.